Cool. Hey, everybody. Um, I just got back from Midwest and I've got so many cool things that I'm bringing back from our band director clinics and everything that we were able to learn there. I got to go hang out with so many people and it was just an amazing time. Got to go to Chicago for 3 days and being there, I learned so much. We went to all the sessions. Um, And I've been to a lot of professional development conferences. I usually go once a year. I go to the Illinois Music Education Conference in Peoria. Um, and I would say that the Chicago one really has the concerts down. Like all of the concerts and pieces that you see, the literature that you learn is so good. Like the Randall Standridge reading session, I loved it. And I bought some of the pieces to take home. Like we're gonna perform this in the spring. I can't wait. Um, Did I bring back the ice cream? No, I didn't get any ice cream there. Um, but I will say that the learning sessions, like sitting down and having a teacher talk to you, were not as good as what I was expecting. I think I got a little bit more out of the IMEC ones. Oh, hey, thanks. Um, I really like the concerts though, and the pieces that you learned. I got to meet Randall Standridge and talk to him for a while. Um, and he was very informative. Thank you for the gift. Was that was that a sad? Oh man. Um, should a band director make a student feel bad about messing up during a concert? You know, I've made that mistake before. Someone asks, "How did I do?" And you might be spicy right there after the concert, and you're like, that should have been better. And when you say it, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm rightfully upset. I'm frustrated because we practiced and you still screwed it up," or you know what? Um, it can really impact a kid. They're looking for that affirmation. They're looking for something to keep them going, keep them engaged, and you shut them down, and they might just be done forever. You know. Thank you, J.R. Anderson. Oh man, thank you. Um, so should you tell them they did poorly? You should help guide them to figure out what went wrong and what could be better. Let them listen to themselves, play a recording, say, "What did you hear?" And the kids will tell you. They will be brutally honest to themselves, and you don't have to even say it. And you say, "Hey, you know what? I'm proud of you guys. I'm happy for you. We're going to keep getting better every time." And so that's where you get to step in and be the good guy no matter what, even if they messed up. Do a Scott and Jimmy recorder video. That would be kind of fun. I teach elementary music. Unfortunately, I don't have a classroom anymore, but I can still push in and do something with that. You just did ILMEA, and they said the auditions were sent to state. Everyone else got a letter that said they got in or not, but you didn't get anything. If you haven't heard back by now, I think you're not in because we already heard all the all-state um, stuff. You've almost quit several times because your director's mean, but you're forcing yourself to stay. So yeah, that can happen. Um, Definitely make sure that you take care of you. Um, I'm not telling you to stay forced in a toxic situation with a band director that doesn't like you and doesn't appreciate you, but if you're doing a good job and you know your stuff and you show up every day and you're ready and you're prepared and you can own that. You can be like, "Hey, he can have a bad attitude or she can have a bad attitude, but I know I'm doing right." And if you're showing up and you're not doing right and you're making mistakes and you're talking during rehearsals, like you might need to make some changes. There might be a reason why they have some negativity towards you. There's a piece of fuzz on this hat. It's driving me nuts. There we go. Got it. Okay. I subbed. Thank you. As you blue Santa. There's a meme going around now that we started that's me with the hat and I'm going, "Santa, look!" from Elf. I'm yeah, like Buddy the Elf. I love it. Tips for piccolo. I mean, I've played piccolo just like I picked it up and pretended it was a flute, but I was pretending like I was playing the higher octave of a flute. So I was just blowing really quick, really small aperture. You're getting a new director next year, and my director of 38 years for our school. Wow. So they're not going to be like your old director, and you're going to have to encourage them to keep the good traditions and allow them to make the changes for the new things. Can you ask Mrs. Allen to do a shout out for me? Ask her yourself. I mean, we're buddies, but like, talk to her. Let her know. Tips for trumpet, tips for clarinet, and tips for trombone. Um, once you've practiced a lot, then you start digging into listening to professionals. Here's advice for everybody. I'm not going to say it's every single instrument. Here's advice for everybody. Once you've practiced and practiced, like, you know, you sit down for your song and you pick one spot and you practice that spot 10 or 20 times in a row, not once or twice, not playing all the way through, you know. Um, once you've played it through that many times, keep tally marks or whatever, then go listen to professionals. Go listen to people who are way better than you, way better than me, and hear what their sound is. Then pause, pick up your instrument, and try to emulate them. I don't even mess with teaching like vibrato to my flutes and saxophones or whatever. I just let them listen to good players. And I say, do that, sound like that. And then they'll start doing that. They'll start sounding like, some of that because they're emulating it. It's the same thing when I teach elementary and choir. I'm not going to say, no, make your voice do this, I'm going to just show good singing, whether it's me or whether it's a recording. And I'm going to try to encourage them, like, do it like this. And that's a great thing you can do. What school do I teach at? I teach at three different schools. I've got a kindergarten through fourth grade, I've got a fifth through eighth, and a ninth through 12th. I should do another tuba video. Oh, William Daniels sent a 6-7. Nice. You should watch our 6-7 video with Mrs. Allen and Mrs. Lechner and Mr. White. Scott and Jimmy Mellophone. I think I did one, didn't I? How do we beat audition fright? Oh man. So I'm telling you, when I pick up, even now, if I go do an audition, I pick up my trumpet or I go stand up there and I start playing and I get this kind of shaky sound. And what I have to do is I have to exhale, take a really good deep breath, and then start from scratch. Like just go ahead and do that. And you taking those kinds of resetting breath will be really helpful. Hang on one sec. Remove. There we go. I just blocked that user. They're gone. You just got a compensating euphonium. Is that the 4-valve one? And it's getting used to trying to learn on a new instrument has been hard for me. Okay, I don't know if I've done a mellophone, Scott and Jimmy. I've talked about the mellophone, so that would be fun. Thoughts on rotary valve oil versus piston oil? So there's a different viscosity. Some are thinner and some are thicker, and you really should use the thing that was, you know, um, recommended for your instrument. I don't really have any brands that are specifically, you know, my thing. If any valve oil companies want to sponsor me, go for it. I will buy into that. Ooh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna reach out to, like, what is it, Monster Oil and all those other different ones that are like kind of lower names but well known. That would be cool. I'll make an ad and then I'll be just tons of valve oil in my room. You're auditioning for an honor band. Good. I'm in my car right now. I'm killing an hour of time because I'm waiting on a award ceremony. Um, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. Someone else asked for a birthday shout out. There is no Scott and Jimmy mellophone. Please do one. Okay. Do you play mellophone regularly? Like, we only do mellophone during maybe concert or during marching season. So, tips for Barry sax altissimo. I actually just had to reach out to my professor from college. He's a saxophone guy, and I had to talk to him and be like, "Oh, there's another one. Alex VR, thank you." Um, And I had to reach out to him. I was like, I'm trying to do Altisimo and it's just not working. It's not working. And it was because I wanted to play the Fortnite emote. The dun dun da dun da da but da 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 da. And I was trying to do that growl at the end and I couldn't get that high. Um, yes, thank you, Will Daniel Central. And I couldn't get that high, and so he gave me some tips and I tried to voice it differently, and the way my voice, he related it to my singing, and I was able to kind of do some tips with that. Tips for improving scale speed. Increase your scale speed by like 2 beats per minute and try to get to the speed you're doing. By then you'll have done it so many stinking times that you will be able to do that. Do I know David Carroll in Illinois? I don't think so. Maybe we've met. Illinois is a really big state. There's like over 2,000 high schools, and that's not counting, each high school probably has three different elementary schools for it. You remind me of my own band director. You two are so silly. I think everyone needs a silly band director that makes people laugh, makes people smile, and loves their students, but then gets work done. And I think I need a little bit more of the second one. I try to let the kids know I care for them and everything, but then I need to get work done. Tuba, more tuba videos. Okay, I got you. I got you. Trying to start studying the positions for trombone. I just saw a really cool thing that had like you could click into the trombone positions. I took a business card home to see if it was like $200. What is my least favorite instrument to teach kids? I've never taught a student bassoon. They learned it on their own, but no one ever asked me to help them with that. Do I like bari sax? Yeah, it's a solid instrument. It's a great one. Hang on. Okay. You're auditioning for your district honor band on the oboe. Um, Tips for low notes. No, but I would say if you're an oboe player, you need to have a clip-on microphone and a tuner that sits on your stand 100% of the time. Just do it. They're like 15 bucks. And then you will always know. It's not, I mean, I want you to listen. I want you to listen to the band, but you just need to be in tune all the time because they're going to hold you to so much higher level of scrutiny. They're just going to expect that of you. Definitely. Wait, is this Jimmy? Kinda. Oh, so this is funny. People were asking me for photos at Midwest in Chicago, and I just got back from a 3-day trip there, and they were like, "Hey, can we take a picture? I want to get a selfie." And so I hold up my camera, or they hold up their camera, and then they're like, "Well, actually, I was like, "What's wrong? You don't want a picture?" They're like, "Yeah, I want a picture, but can you like put on the hat first?" Okay, bud, whatever you say, I don't care. You like the Midwest videos? We were having so much fun. Um, we were of course we were working hard. We were there from like 7:30 to 5:30 every day working on sessions and going to concerts and everything. But golly, we had some fun. Your band director has a very cheap trombone that you put tape on the positions. I made a video about that. I was joking though. Don't actually do that. What trombone mouthpiece should I get? I can't remember what it's called. There's a good recommendation I just got. And I can't remember exactly which one I would say without looking it up. Is there honors where you teach? We go to like the district band, but we don't have a higher level or lower level band. It's just everybody's in the same group, and there's definitely different playing levels. Scott and Jimmy E flat clarinet. I did that, yes, and I had my wife's lipstick on the reed. What is your advice for doing 4/4 with a baton? I mean, start with the ictus. You're finding those exact points. I just bought a new baton. Make sure that you are clear. You're not going too wide, not too high. Just stay here, and then practice practice giving gestures on different beats. Pick one, two, three, or four, and give that gesture over and over again until you feel like it's effective. Record yourself too, and be like, "Oh, that's what I look like." Ew. Jimmy, you should borrow a sousaphone. I've got a sousaphone. I got a couple fiberglass ones. I like those. Do I like open wrapped or closed wrapped trombones? I guess I've never really thought about it. Can I tell you how to assemble a flute? Dude, just that's so easy. Do I think an electric bass belongs in concert band? Yeah, we have one that regularly plays with us. Um, you recorded your whole concert. Good. Can you mention the short you commented on? Hey, Mason, I just watched Yeah, I just watched your trumpet video. Yeah, I gave you some advice. I would recommend trying that. It's you got a great start, but once you keep doing that and get the repetitions, like, some of these early songs, they're so short, you could do them 20 times in a row. And by the time you're done, you should feel like your lips are like, "Bleh." You're like, oh wow, I got a workout in. You always love a good workout. Like you call that working till failure. Don't go past that point. But you work out till you're like, oh man, I'm tired now. And I'm tired not because I pushed too hard, but I'm tired because I put in enough work. Uh, Cost Costco State Farm. What? What is the weirdest instrument your band has? Maybe we got alto clarinets. Oh, what instrument do I play? I play them all. I'm a band director, but I main on trumpet and baritone. I used to do French horn a little bit, but I was not good enough on it. And I threw my French horn in the snow. That was my personal instrument too. You had your first solo at the Christmas concert and they didn't turn the mic on the whole time. Oh, so I got this great idea. If you don't mind me not answering comments for a second. Um, I have a wireless microphone and a great speaker system, and I want more kids to play out. I want to feature kids who don't get to show off very much. Like, of course, some instruments always get a solo. We have like two trumpet players. You're gonna hear them. But if I have this wireless clip-on microphone and I just go around and be like, "Hey, everyone, I really want you to focus on our oboe player today," and I clip the microphone on there and I let him or her play out for 2 or 3 minutes. And then I say, okay, who else do we need to really hear out? We need more baritone. And I clip it on the baritone. Like, can you imagine how much that's going to make the student, one, really be on the edge of their seat, like working hard, but two, you get to feature someone that almost never gets to be heard or have the melody or whatever. I think it's amazing. Whoa, Bumpy, thank you for the super like. Have I ever done a parade with your class? Yeah, we do. Um, we do the parades for homecoming and two competition parades usually. OMG oboe. I don't have an oboe player right now. Maybe I could train one, but I don't have time for private lessons, and I don't have more than like two students who take private lessons. Our school does not sponsor them. We don't have much sectional time, if any, and I'm the only director. So maybe I can get my student teacher when I get one to help with some private lessons if they're good at that. Get an Albert system clarinet. It's going to make your students crash out. Oh man, I haven't tried that one. You only have one oboe player in your band? That's good. Once you have more than one, they have conflicts of interests. I felt my lips were going to fall off after practicing that song for an hour. Yeah, so don't practice past the point of failure. All brass instruments, you really don't want to practice to the point where it's making bad habits. Because if you're like, okay, okay, I can just do one more. No, it's not good for you. You're not making good progress at that point. You're not going to make any more gains if it's like you're lifting weights, with a dumbbell. If you have to swing your whole body to get your arm to go up for a dumbbell lift, it's not a good rep. So stop, take a break, and split up that practice. Your spring concert music got delayed to January. Doesn't sound like spring then if it's January. We usually do just about two main concerts a year. What size mouthpiece do you recommend for a four-year trumpet player? I mean, a lot of people like going to 3C because that just helps them get some extra range. That might help them have that tone quality. I just don't like playing on a 7C whatsoever, and that's what seems to come with every trumpet. I really don't like it. Sometimes I have to pick up a student horn and be like, no, it's this, and I play it, and I'm like, ooh, what was that? New reaction meme. You're about to get your first trumpet. What do you have any tips? Mrs. Allen and I both have some really good videos of just, hey, it's your first day on the trumpet. Here's what to do. I would definitely check out those 2 or 3 videos that we have posted about that. It's in like the beginning brass lessons playlists. And then read the first 2 pages of your method book where it tells you how to sit, how to hold it. Don't skip it. Everyone skips it. Like, yeah, I know this. Like, no, you don't. Read it. It's so good for you. You play B flat trombone with a trigger. That's cool. Hi, Jimmy. What was your first instrument? And then a trumpet. Well, yeah, I played trumpet, and then I also played baritone, and then I know how to play everything. I just am best at those. You got contracted for MCDC. I don't know what that one is. Is that a marching band group? I play bassoon. Please make more content about it. I just did. I literally I was helping make a video for Make Music. They asked me to make a couple videos, and I really spent like an hour practicing their videos and practicing Go Tell Aunt Rhody and my first 5 notes of the B flat scale until I could play it. And I was like, guys, look, I actually kind of learned bassoon. Music City Drum Corps. It's DCI. Oh man, DCI is so cool. I wish I got to see more of it, but I still don't want to be in it myself. That's so much work. So much. You're switching to trombone and don't have the book, so I have to use the online Essential Element book. Okay, well, if you got it online, that's at least something better than nothing. Um, how many instruments can you play? Pretty much everything except for like guitar. Not good at guitar. I play French horn. Should I dump my condensation on the carpet? Oh yeah, dump that spit. What's your opinion on Sleigh Ride? We do it like every 2 or 3 years. We don't do it every year. And you need the right players for it. We didn't have a trumpet player for a while. Let's see. Yeah, the other thing, he's Top Hat 10 is talking about some baritones and some trombones have small bore or like wide bore. And you look at the end of the mouthpiece, right, where it goes into the lead pipe, and some of them have a much bigger opening and it won't fit. What has Jimmy ever done right? Jimmy does right things all the time. He just can't follow through and do it right enough, you know? Be like Scott and dump it on a towel. That's kind of nice. We're doing Darklands March. Oh man, I did you see I met Randall Standridge? He is really cool. He's like a down to earth guy, and he was just sitting there talking to us for like 20 minutes. Um, Such a cool guy. He didn't know who I was though, and I got over that pretty quick. But yeah, um, I'm doing a couple pieces. I'm going to try to incorporate some of his music, and if it's not specifically his, it's going to be music from his company. Um, have you ever crashed out on any of your classes? I mean, yeah, but not like you're talking. I don't get that angry. Um, I get upset. Oh no, someone just dropped a big thing out of their car. Sigh, I'm so upset. I caught a fever and sinus infection. Oh no. Yeah, take your time off from clarinet. Get better first. Remember when Mrs. Allen said you should win a Nobel Prize? Oh no. Yeah, the bell fell off of that. Oh man, they dropped like a 36 pack of beers out there on the ground. It'd be a shame if some of them rolled over this way. Um, my band director crashed out on us in the middle school. Oh no. Yeah, I mean it's really frustrating when you have a plan for a rehearsal and then people just don't even try. What are some fun games to play with fifth grade? I do a lot of rote singing. Like I'm a elementary teacher, so like I sing, you play, and so we learn our first 5 notes, scale degrees, or do re mi fa sol, and I can sing like 1 3 5 3 1, and they play it, and then I give them a challenge, like okay, play everything except for mi re do, and if I play that and you sing that, or I sing that and you play that, now I've got you, and I get a point. Um, and I've also do things like, okay, play every note I sing except for the third note. If you accidentally play the third note after I sang it, I get a point. And so they're focusing. They're focusing so hard on what not to do, they don't realize how much they are actually doing. And it's so fun. What was the first concert you played? Um, oh, what was the first thing you played when you were a student? Oh, so I learned a solo book for Chariots of Fire. Um, Da, 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 da. And then I learned the trumpet Star Wars book. Went through all of that, and then I got a movies and TV shows book. And then by the time I was already doing a method book, like I breezed through that super fast because I'd already been playing things that were harder. I didn't have the best tone yet. My teeth were kind of bad. My teeth are still kind of bad. And I didn't really quite get the technique, but I put in the time and it made up for it. Can you sing Carol of the Bells? Yeah, not right now. Uh-oh. Why'd you do that? Now you're gone. Okay. Um, Bach is a pretty good brand. Yeah, that's a solid one. Solid choice. You can find equivalents, but why? It's not that expensive for a mouthpiece. What's your favorite instrument other than your main one? Like my favorite brass. is trumpet and baritone. My favorite woodwind, I do well with saxophone. It's because it's kind of easier. Let's see. You play the trumpet and you caught the flu. Time to give your trumpet a bath. Clean that thing out. Should I be a woodwind or a brass? Are you still haven't chosen your instrument yet? Go listen to a bunch of players. Go look at professionals, see what you like the sound of. Because if you like hearing it, you might like practicing it. What's better, tenor or alto? I think tenor's got a cool sound, especially the Minoko theme from Expedition 33. Randall Standards comes to your school pretty often to sub. That's awesome. He was giving away like an entire stack of his music and offering to commission stuff for people's schools. Jimmy is so funny and Scott is just so good. You know, I kind of like to think I'm a little of both people. Have I ever done euphonium? Yeah, I've done a couple. I think I put it in a playlist. Maybe I didn't. I probably need to go through and just make a new one because I've got like 60 parts to Scott and Jimmy. Let's see. I watched a short clip of you struggling when you played the 3D printed one. You didn't struggle. Yeah, so I it's so weird. I have a couple different flutes, and the one that I did the best on was my stupid TikTok shop one that I got for 88 bucks. It's great. And when it stops working, I'm gonna throw it in the trash and buy a new one for 88 bucks. It's so many band directors will tell you it's a bad idea to buy a cheap instrument. It's going to fail. You won't get it repaired. But it just I happen to get lucky and get a good one for cheap. And when it breaks, instead of paying $250 to get it fixed, I'm just gonna go make an ornament out of it and go buy another $88 one, and I'll be good for another 2 years. Like I can afford to do that. Should I start on a Mendini? Bleh, bleh. No, you said the M word. Don't do that. You can't say Mendini. That's one of the trash brands. Don't do it. What inspired you to step into the musical world and become a band director? Good question. My entire family is musically oriented. Everyone plays an instrument, everyone sings. It's just been a huge part of my life growing up. And my band director was extremely influential and did a great job with us. Even when he yelled, even when he was kind of a stinker, he still had those results and he still cared. And I thought at the end of high school, I was like, what do I like? What do I consistently like and love and want to do for the rest of my life? And I thought of a lot of different things. I was like, I'm good at those, but I don't want to do that every day for the rest of my life. And I thought maybe music would be it. And if I change my mind, I'll change my mind. And I did well in college and I did well, like moving forward. And I loved it. So I want to keep doing it. And now at this point, like I have you guys and I never thought I would have this kind of audience for this platform. And I can now use it to advocate for music education and the importance of music in schools and the importance of supporting your program through time and funding and scheduling. So I absolutely plan to use this and be selfish with this and tell people like give more time, give more money to help music programs, help those schools. I need to make like an Amazon wish list or something so I can get more things for my school, for my students, because they need it. There's so many things we're missing, so many things we don't have because we don't have the money. We're a Title I school. Should I be a woodwind or brass instrument? I don't know. You gotta choose. I can't choose for you. It's not like when you're in my band and I'm like, well, I need a tuba player, be a tuba player. Like, you have to choose. Do I have cheap recommendations for tenor sax? The best thing I can say for cheap is shop around, Facebook Marketplace, something like that, and then say, hey, band director, I found this. It's a good price. Someone says it was used for 2 years, but is it a good brand? And your band director can tell you right away, like, Mendini. Oh, I said the M word again. Um, and so they can help you make that decision and know what you're doing. You're already in tuba, then you should probably try some of the other brass instruments. They're really similar. You can just kind of Kind of do that. Why is your Santa hat blue? It's our school colors, and my school had like a whole box of them that they were trying to give away for a fundraiser. And so I bought one trying to help the students like, hey guys, go buy the blue hats, go buy the blue hats, and no one wanted to. I couldn't even give them away. And so I was like, okay. And then I was doing a video and I put on like, a goofy wig and I put on a goofy stocking cap and I put on the blue hat and people love the blue hat. It's like, huh, I should do the blue hat guy again. And I didn't expect it would catch on and be like half of my entire personality now, but whatever works. What should you play for your solo and solo and ensemble? I would pick something that is just a step up above what you feel comfortable playing right now. You know, if you can sight read the music, it's probably too easy. But also, if you can't make it, you know, halfway through because you're gonna run out of steam, you might need to back it down a step. You suck at trumpet, what should you do? Oh, um, practice. Ask your band director what you're needing help on. That's a question that people don't. I, when has someone ever asked me that? Really? When has someone ever come up to me and said, "Hey, I'm, trumpet player, whatever, and I've been practicing, I've been playing. What things do I need to get better at to be a better trumpet player?" Like nobody's ever come up to me with the cognizance of thought and been like, "Hey, that's a good question to ask." Like, if they did, I would tell them kindly, constructively. But any tips for a flute switching to trumpet? There's not like some magic switch, like going from one to the other. You just need to start from scratch with that instrument and quit trying to skip steps. Um, you don't want to just pick it up and pretend like you're an expert. Start at level zero, learn the basics, learn the tips, learn it from someone who knows what to do, like your friend. Your friend who's already been playing it for 5 years. Hey, like, how do I hold this? Oh, I put my thumb there, like that kind of stuff. Is it jump from grade 4 to 1? I don't know what that means. Sorry, we don't do our groupings like that in our state. Breaking the band, nice. How many bassoon players do I have? I got 0. Any tips for a bass clarinet player? Um, Play out, play strong. People want a good bass line. Your band teacher gave you a bass trombone for Christmas. Hot dang, that violates our contract. We can't give gifts worth more than $100 to anybody for any reason, and we can't accept gifts either. Your school doesn't have a marching band, and you're planning on starting a student-ran one. Wow. Okay. Uniforms, you need to go cheap as possible. T-shirts, matching jeans or something, or shorts or whatever. It's summertime. Um, and then instrumentation, that's gonna be hard. Make sure you talk to someone who knows what they're doing when you actually buy a piece because you need the rights to perform that piece. Like you can't just go buy a $45 piece on JW Pepper. You have to buy like the $3,000 performance rights to do it. And that's where you start to realize it's not as easy as you think. You look like Lee from Stray Kids. I don't know who the Stray Kids are. I'll have to watch. You should be my new conductor. What's your favorite instrument? I play trumpet and baritone, but I like to play saxophone. I play a little bit of everything. What's your most favoritist song you've ever played in band? I don't know. There's a lot of different good ones. I'll have to think about that. I have 2 bass clarinets. They're both kind of, working on it. Do I know Wesley Graham? No. I don't know everybody yet, but give me a Mendini instrument for a gag gift. It still costs money. They're like still, I mean, you're buying a 150 or $350 trumpet, and then you realize like it's not going to work that well. You want to taste valve oil. This is a petroleum product, and it's harmful to humans. You should not ingest any kind of oil that's not, cooking oil or food oil. Tips for increasing lung capacity. Start jogging. That's what I do. Start jogging and swimming, and then breathe from your gut. Breathe down low. There's a physical component to being a musician. I'm not saying that anyone has to be, skinny as a twig or anything, because that doesn't help either. You just have to have good physical health. That's why marching bands go do laps. They do push-ups. They do all those things not to punish you just for the sake of punishing you. It's to get you in shape because you need to be physically fit to do hard things like marching band. And concert band requires some physicality too. What's the hardest instrument you can play? Well, I can play the first five notes of bassoon now. That was really hard. You should help my band director out. She was just hired and it's her first job. You can help her out too. Whenever you get a new director, I'm telling everyone this, whenever you get a new director, you help them, you trust them, you support them. You might gently coax them if they are doing something that is wrong. They might be like me. When I started, I was really, really passive. They're like, hey, guys, stop doing that. No, I'll wait until you stop talking. Come on. You got to command respect. You got to find a way to relate to the students, but then you got to be fun. You got to be in charge. You got to get them to work, but you got them to play. Like, there's a lot. So then I was going to say, keep the traditions that you love, keep them going. We do Bandsgiving, we do Secret Santa, we do, um, senior gifts, like do all these things. But then also let them make the new traditions. Let them help guide things. Why is it hard to switch? Hey, thank you for the gift. Thank you for the heart. Do you make a heart like this? Or do you make a heart like this? Or do you make a heart like, what is it, this? This is the new one. I just learned that yesterday. I didn't know that was a thing. So you got this. That's the one I know. And then you got, oh, that's weird. And then you got, this is like the tiny violin. Thank you, Aiden. What's a good brand for cheap trombones? You get a used name brand. That's what you do with a trombone. You go get a used Jupiter, Bach, Conselmer, something like that. What's my opinion on oboes? You usually want to have one good one, and then maybe you train one else. Furiosa by Robert Smith. I haven't played it, but I heard it. It was a good one. Quit spamming the chat. Do I know Megan? There's a lot of Megans. Uh, you want to put valve grease on your lips. That's a bad idea, buddy. Thank you, Aiden. GG. GG's to you. You moved to bassoon a week ago and already know how to play the Christmas songs. You must have had a good teacher or you must be really motivated. Do I know Peace by Frank Kelly? What a good composer. Yeah, or Ticelli. Someone called him that yesterday. I thought it was Kelly with a K. Any tips for looking at professional clarinet? So my wife is a clarinet player. Thank you, Daisy. 6'7". Um, and oh, thank you, Aiden too. 41. There you go. So professional clarinets, you really want like my wife swears by a buffet. Um, it's like a buffet 34 or something, and she's got a fancy mouthpiece and a ligature, and it was expensive. It was like over 3 grand. Probably 4 grand by the time she was done with the sanding and the mouthpiece and everything else. But I played a plastic beginner clarinet, and then I played her clarinet, and I knew almost just like the first 6 notes. And I sounded better than the rest of the class. As soon as I touched her clarinet, it was like, this thing plays itself. It's like when you get one of those cars that like has the cruise control that stays in the lanes. You're like, I could have been doing this the whole time. All right, let's see. Scroll down. I missed a whole bunch of you hate plastic clarinets. Okay, Rob Lick says, I asked you to stop. Now you're in timeout. Tchaikovsky. I heard he was getting some people upset lately because they're like, um, like he has in the Nutcracker Suite, there's like the Chinese dances, and he never listened to Chinese music. He never went to China, and so people are like, it's a little iffy. But I think with some changes, he's still a fantastic composer, someone worth learning about, someone worth listening. I would not recommend canceling one person over something that happened, culturally, 300 years ago and didn't have access to those kinds of things. If someone does it nowadays, like what was that composer? Yeah, they were a poser, really. Thank you, Aiden. Someone who like was an old white man and used a fake Japanese female name to write his composers or his pieces just so he could sell more stuff. It's like, okay, that's a nope. Don't do that. Thank you again, Aiden. What do I think about French horn? It's good. It's hard. Willow, thank you for the rose. Have you heard of Epic? Oh, I've been listening to it nonstop. Um, I've been listening to Epic a lot. Warrior of the Mind. Such a good one. Um, your Jupiter's missing the ring. That's not hard to get. You can get a new one, whether they slide in and twist on, or you need to get one soldered on. They're really not that expensive. Um, now I want to sing Epic. Dang it. I need to have like a karaoke session. Your content is really good. Thank you. Did you get to go to Midwest? Yes. And you can see a whole bunch of videos about that with Mrs. Allen, Garcia, Jordan White. He's great. Mr. White. Um, Erica Gates, Lisa Frustacci, and Zach Smith plays band. Who am I leaving? Oh, Renee Lechner. Favorite song from Epic? I'd have to look at my Spotify playlist. Um, I really like um, the I Can Take the Suffering from You, and there's another one that's like right before that that's so good. You use cork? Can you use cork grease as chapstick? I mean, it's basically Vaseline, but it is not recommended. I wouldn't put Vaseline on my lips, but I know some people do. I don't like it. It seems like it's wrong. New trumpet mouthpiece, Bach 3C is the standard for your first upgrade. Hey man, can you go ahead and shave your head? Shave my head. I've done that before. I've done that about 5 times already, probably more. I don't plan on doing it again anytime soon. I got a nice full head of hair. Cocoa butter works great on lips too. Yeah, but I don't like the smell or the taste or anything like that. Uh, you have an Amazon horn in your 8th grade. I mean, do what you got to do to get by. Maybe you can borrow one from the school. If they say they have a problem with the one you got, you're like, okay, what do you have to offer me that's better? I'll use your horn. That's fine. What store do you recommend buying a clarinet? If you got rich people money, you can buy a buffet. They're really good. Otherwise, like Yamaha, Jupiter, Conselmer's got some stuff. Why do French horn players put their mouthpiece so high on their lips? I'm guilty of that too. Um, I just kind of put it where it feels right. And after you're practicing for a while, like you don't think about, oh yes, I'm going to raise it up. Like no, it just you put it where it makes the sound. You're like, that feels good. I don't overthink it. Antigua trombones. I have not heard of those. What's a good trombone if for my mom to get me for my birthday? You want to stick to name brands. Talk to your band director and they can tell you some of the name brands like, Bach, Jupiter, Yamaha, Blessing. There's a ton of them. It's hard to list them all, but you just don't want to buy like some random Timu nonsense. Can you get me a flute? If I was going to buy anyone an instrument, it would be my students and for my school. I'm not giving these away to just random people here. And I don't buy random instruments for people either. Um, but I do want to start writing some grants and maybe start helping my students get more instruments in their library in their hands because I think they deserve that. Let's see. Something I hate is when my band directors say one more time. It's a meme. We do that. I'm pretty good about not doing it, and I'll kick myself because like as soon as I say okay one more time and we play it and it's not good enough. They did not do what they were supposed to do. And it's like, all right, next thing, let's move on. And then you got to end on a bad note. Like I wanted to finish on you doing it right, not finish on, uh, you know. What's my opinion on Yamaha? Great motorcycles, better instruments. Can I say shout out to your band director, Mrs. Granada? Nice. Can you be a mod? No. Why are your flute pads sticky? Don't you take the dollar bill and clean them out a little bit? They might just be getting out of shape. That's one of the things I hate about flute is like you can have a good quality flute and you still have to go get all these repaired all the time. You're like, why should I not just have an instrument that works? Like I pick up a trumpet, and as long as I oil it and grease it and don't let it rot, like, it works. Yay! I don't have to do anything. Some of these instruments are so high maintenance. The flute's kind of one of those that you just got to constantly like, there's a new reed pad every 3 years or, whatever. They started to fray or fall off. Bass clarinet tips, trumpet tips. Yeah, practice. Your band director just moved away. That can be rough. I've had to move before. Let's see. Bass trombone. I've never gotten to try a bass trombone, so I don't think I'm the right person to ask for that. Can I shout out your band director, Mrs. Hippus? Students hate one more time. Directors love it. I'm actually getting a shirt or a new sweatshirt from Visual Block Merch. It's going to say one more time. And I'm going to definitely wear that in a video coming up. Um, they were kind enough to send me one, but I haven't gotten it just yet. So hopefully soon. I'm going to have to get going in about 5 minutes or so. I'm supposed to go to an award ceremony. Can I shout out your band director? All right, Mr. Hernandez. Do I know Mrs. Brudette? I don't know everybody here, guys. I'm working on it. I met so many people though at Midwest. Like every day, I probably had 20 people come up to me and ask for a photo or talk to me about what they do. And I always tried to ask something, what did you learn uh, while you were here? What instrument do you play? How many years have you been doing it? What are your plans for the future? And I would love for them to, you know that I'm invested in it, even if it's just for a couple minutes. And that was so cool. Like some of them shouted me out on Instagram or on YouTube or TikTok. And like, I remember taking that picture with them. I was like, yeah, yeah, you guys were in the lobby with me. What's your favorite store brand when it comes to buying instruments? Whoever sponsors me. No, I don't really have any specific ones that I'm ride or die for yet. And I think that with some experience and time, I will find. But you also get these companies will buy out the smaller ones. Example, company A buys out the little company here and absorbs them. And now they are a mega company that also happens to make those little ones. And the quality changes. You're going to get, flutes or something that are ultra light and thin and break easily. And you're like, okay, well, that's not what I expected from that brand. And so, it just kind of changes. You have to look at the reviews, look at the years they were made. Is Yamaha a good quality brand? Almost always. I mean, I've never heard of a bad Yamaha, but it could happen. I don't know. Are plastic reeds good? There are synthetic reeds that are supposed to be good. I was heard of Leger is supposed to have good synthetic reeds, but they were like $100 for one oboe reed. So I don't know what it's worth to you. I have that same jacket. Yeah, I love my heated jacket. I'm not trying to sponsor them right now. I do have it in TikTok shop, but I'm not trying to sponsor them right now. It's a nice jacket and it's cold out here. I'm sitting in my car without it on. Have you ever been donated before? Am I the only one who donated? Oh yeah, all the time, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Is Glory a good brand? I don't remember that one. Is that a flute brand? Glory. One kid in my section brags about having a plastic reed. Yeah. What is the best instrument? It's totally subjective. Have I ever conducted a jazz band? A couple times. Not too much. Glory is from Amazon. That makes more sense. What do you think? What do you think I'm gonna say? Timo keeps trying to get me to advertise for them. They're like, look, we got clearance instruments. You'll get a big commission. We'll pay you to sponsor Timo instruments. We'll give you free products. And I'm like, I gotta have some values here, guys. It's not enough. It's not worth it. I'm a sellout sometimes. I love my jacket. I got it for free. It's great. I got a sample and I made a video for them. But like, there's a line. I'm not gonna do a whole bunch of bad stuff. Is Van Doren the best reed brand? So I use Juno, and Juno is the slightly cheaper version from Van Doren. And Van Doren's supposed to be kind of like the top tier, good quality. So I would trust them pretty well. But then you talk to professionals and they're like, yeah, I bought a box of 30 reeds and I threw out half of them because I wanted to find the right one. It's like, I've never thrown away a reed. I just use whatever it is and I deal with it. Get a heckle bassoon. That sounds fun. Have I heard of Pride of Burke County from Georgia? I do not, but that's cool. How big is your band? I've got 42 if you count color guard in my high school band. It's going to be more like 30 after the semester. And then it'll get bigger again for marching band. Mr. Knisley, you're my favorite, and Mrs. Allen too. I'm practicing breezing in my jazz band. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, just keep working. I loved jazz band in middle school. I got to do it twice a week for like 40 minutes. And that's one of the things that got me better at trumpet was I was practicing 2 hours a week because that was our requirement. It was like 120 minutes every week, and then um, I would do a lot of extra work in jazz band. So it was like another 40 minutes every morning or 2 days a week, and my regular 5 days a week band practice. I mean, I was getting so much face time compared to my students that I have now. They're getting 30 minutes twice a week, and I think there's only like two or three who actually practice. So the amount of face time, you got 120 minutes a week of consistent intentional practice and then like 150 minutes of in-class time a week versus 60 minutes of you showed up. There's a big difference. You had a dream of meeting you? Okay. Okay. As long as you don't make it weird. That's really cool. Um, what is the first instrument I ever owned? It was a cornet, and I don't even remember the name. I don't think it had a brand name. It was just an old cornet, old golden one. You practice every day for 4.5 hours? That's excessive. And you don't make progress? That's that's a lot of practice to be doing. And what are you doing for 4.5 hours that you're not making progress? Or you're not noticing the progress. The same thing like, I'm working out and I'll go run like 6 miles one day. And then the next day I'll run 6 miles and again, and then I'll take 6 days off. And then I look at the scale and I'm like, hey, I didn't lose 10 pounds. What's wrong with me? You got to look for the smaller goals, or measure over time. Someone who's like, I lost 10 pounds. Yeah, you're doing like half a pound a week, maybe if you were lucky. Those are the kinds of small goals you look over a long period of time. Can I do more Scott and Jimmy? I'm sure I will. I love the Jimmy character, but sometimes it's, hard to not just repeat everything I've already done. What else can Scott and Jimmy do on each instrument that's not just the same thing? And I also don't want to be overly destructive. I'm not telling people to do the bad things. I'm just kind of showing some things that have actually happened in my band classes or I've heard of happening because people will do crazy stuff. I've been told you went to my middle school, but I don't believe it. Did I grow up in Coral Springs, Florida? Nope. Do I plan on doing a contra clarinet? We don't own one. I want to borrow one though. Like, I think I just need to go to a different school sometime and be like, hey, what instruments do you have that I don't have? I'm going to make 3 videos today and then I'll clean them and leave. You made county, region, and state. Good job. You and Mrs. Allen should collab. If only we'd ever made some videos together or live stream together. Go check out our channel. We got like tons of stuff together, especially the last week. You got to get to your award thing. You're right, it's after 4 o'clock, but the first 10 minutes are them just wasting time in the gym, so I don't have to worry about that. If you're wondering what this giant box is in the back seat, we bought a new stove because ours broke. It was like 20 years old and it just stopped working. And so we haven't had any oven or stove in the last like 6 months, and it's driving me nuts. I really want to go make a buffalo chicken pizza when I get home, and I don't want to have to go out to eat, and I can't do that. So I have to like take a pizza, break it in half, and put it in my tiny air fryer at like one slice at a time. It's ridiculous. So I can't wait to get that home at 10 o'clock tonight and try to lift it out of there by myself. What? It's 5 where I live? We're in Central Time, so it's just turned 4 p.m. Central is Chicago time. I'm in Illinois, that kind of part of the state, just not in Chicago. That's what you always have to say, like, what state are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm in Illinois, but not from Chicago. Man, sometimes it's hard to live stream, but you guys have been really good about having a good conversation going, and I felt like I didn't run out of anything to say this entire time. So thank you so much for everyone who's been here. Um, and I really appreciate it. You should come to my middle school. I think that would be so fun. Once I have some more experience and I have a little bit better understanding of my own band and what I'm doing as a teacher. I'm in year 9, and 5 years of that was COVID virtual teaching. I was making YouTube videos for kids, and that was 5 years of my teaching. So I've been a real teacher doing real in-class band hands-on stuff for about 3 years before and 2 years after. And so, I'm like a 5-year teacher right now. I have a long way to go. Someone like Mrs. Allen's been doing this at least 14 years longer than me, and she's got all of this experience. So I'm going to keep learning from people who know more than me. I'm going to know my place and be like, hey, I know I'm trying hard, but I'm listening to you and taking your advice. When you tell me something, I'm writing it down because you know what you're talking about. Do I play piano? Yes. I'm an organist and pianist for my church, and I accompany my choirs. I do solo and ensemble playing. I do play for fun. Uh, am I a good pianist? Mm, I'm self-taught. I did 2 classes of like the baby piano class in college just to get started. They make you pass like that first test to be like, yeah, you're good enough to be a teacher. And then the rest was self-taught. So yeah, I play the organ now. I just wish I was a little bit better. So I just need to keep working at it. I haven't done anything that like normal piano students would go through. All of these extra, Bach etudes and organ concertos, like I haven't done them. Have you met my former band director, Mr. Garcia? Like Gideon Garcia? Because he's awesome. We're besties. Is euphonium a baby tuba? Yeah, it's in the same family. Just like a cornet and trumpet are in the same family with a bugle, and like they're they're all in the brass family, and they're in that sect of tubas. I think it may be because I only practice long tones in music. You should uh, you should really talk to your lesson teacher or band director and say, "Hey, I'm practicing, but I'm not making gains. What are some specific items you think I could improve on in class?" Then start and work backwards. I want to be able to do XYZ by this time. Here's the steps I'm going to do to get to it. What is that? Seven habits of the successful person? Like think with the end in mind. You were a violin player and tried to play hot cross buns. It's it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. You got 3 notes. What degrees do you need to be a band director? So I went in a Missouri university and I did it in 4 years. It's supposed to be 5 years, but I did it super accelerated course of study when I ran into a buddy of sorts. Wait, that's Hamilton. Anyway, I did it in 4 years, but I got a K through 12 music education degree. Technically, that lets you teach elementary band or choir, but I did all of the instrumental classes and all of the choir classes. So I was double certified for both. I didn't have to, but I did because I wanted to be extra prepared. All right. I need to get going, guys. So thank you so much. Please make sure that if you see any of my other friends from Band Talk, you go follow their pages too. Mr. White, Lechner, Gates. All of these people are so cool. Mrs. Allen, of course, you're probably already following her, but like they are so cool. And they're Garcia, they're getting their start and they are growing fast because their content is just that good. The Flying Baton, Cooking with Valve Oil, like I want to give these guys a shout out, not just because they're my friends, but because their stuff is good. And that's how they got into this group. It wasn't like there was an audition or something. We were just like, have you seen that guy's stuff? Yeah, they're good. Like, go follow some of these people when you see them tagged in my videos as collaborations, okay? All right. Peace out. I gotta go.